Yep, here we are. Well, we're about to get some very typical May weather. And I think the cows are in the tunnel, so we're going to have a confrontation with the cows, as always, which is fun. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. Oh, Craig, good morning to you. Good morning. Like I say, we're going to be talking about local elections, the results, the fallout, the Tory coping. Oh my, it's going to be fun. Kath OG, good morning to you. Sarah, good morning to you. Dave W, good morning to you. And oh look, for you early risers, we've got a good pony for you today. Right off the bat, a bit of pony for you. David, good morning to you. Nicholas, good morning to you. Craig, how did your local elections go for you? Tory PCC survived. Tory PCC survived in my area. We didn't have a crime commissioner, but a Tory lost his seat to a Lib Dem, which was pretty, good result, local area wise. And I think today we get the results for the Sheffield mayoral race. I think it's today, or have they already been out? I'm not sure. But I think it's today we get those results. But we are expecting Oliver Coppard to win, the Labour candidate. Like I say, we'll get more into that in a moment as well. Helen Wilkes, good morning to you. Patrick H, good morning to you. Dave W, shame about Houchen. Oh, we'll be talking about Houchen. Don't worry about that. We'll be talking about Houchen. David, good morning to you. Helps to keep Tory focus split three ways: Labour, Lib Dems, and Reform. Yep. Ugh. One second, here we go. Zaldron, good morning to you. Well, speed biking hooligans. I've got these hooligans to contend with. Oh. So yeah, this is going to be fun. David, today's results is just like Christmas morning presents. Can't wait. Like I say, I think today we're getting, we'll be getting more mayoral contests. I think we've got a couple more councils to go today as well. But we'll also be getting the London mayoral, the London, not only the Assembly, but also the mayoral results as well. So we'll see what happens there. We are, once again, hoping for some good results there when that happens. But all so far, I have to say, we've had some pretty good results. You cannot argue with the results that we've had today. You cannot argue with the results we've had today. But you've heard the usual. You've heard the usual stuff that, there's no, quote, momentum for Labour. Again, Tory coping. We've heard but the turnout was less than they got at the local election. How does this prove that they're going to win? Yep, Dave. Good grief, not Susan Hall. Good grief indeed. Yep, copium megadosing. Absolutely. What a copium overdose it is at the moment. Hang on, get the cow peeping through. West Midlands Mayor should be interesting. Yep, West Midlands Mayor should be very interesting. We'll see how that shapes out. Gary Arnold, good morning to you as well. Craig, we held half our seats. We held half our seats while losing some really important key councils. You lost the North Yorkshire mayoral race as well, which concludes, Rishi Sunak's constituency as well. That doesn't bode well, but we'll get into talking about that in a moment. Like I say, first of all, we've got these guys to negotiate. Ben Ridings, good morning. Least we forget that Ben Houchen won with just 30% voter turnout. Oh, we'll be talking about voter turnout. Don't you worry, Ben. Well, like I say, once we've got through these cows, we'll be talking about that. But anyway, in the meantime, let's negotiate with some cattle, shall we? Gary Arnold, thank you very much. There we go. Sky saying that Labour will only win 292 seats. We'll see. Either way, I think there's a lot of... hang on, is that... Can I... No. Oh, well. Never mind. Thank you very much, Gary, for the super chat. There we go. We've got to negotiate with you guys. Can I get around you? Are you gonna... There we go. I just got to be careful, because obviously I don't want this guy to kick me. And of course, I'm at the wrong end of a cow. Come on. That's it. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's it. That's it. I've just got to move on by, haven't I, really? I haven't got too much of a choice. Oop. Oop. Oh, I can't tell. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to try going this way. Can I? That's it. That's it. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated, boys. Thank you very much. You've been very negotiable today. Oh, anyway. We're through. Now we'll have to negotiate with them coming back through. Hopefully they will have moved on by that time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they will have moved on. Oh, we won't have to negotiate back through them. But anyway, yes, local elections. My word. It is very, very clear now, the picture is forming. Very, very clear. That if you just don't even focus on Labour for the moment, and you just look at the state of the Tory vote, it is very, very clear. Come a general election, come a general election, they are not going to do very well at all. And we could see a very, very big number of Tory losses on election night. And let's talk about Ben Houchen, because that was one of the seats I've been telling you, one we've got to watch. And I always told you, even if Houchen wins, which he did. Now, he only won this time, I think it was, he got what, 50, I think it was 51%, and the Labour candidate got 40, I think they got 41, I think, as well. So you're talking about 10 points between them. But what mattered and what always mattered was going to be the swing. How much did people swing behind Labour to get that result? And guess what? What have the polls been saying for the past couple of weeks? They're up by 20 points. So not only did Houchen's did the swing towards Labour match the polling that we've seen? But if that had been a general election and that swing gets repeated in other races, in other areas, this officially means, which is one of the things you have seen some of the Tories coping about, or at least trying to ignore, those that are trying to ignore the reality, they haven't talked about swing, because if that swing gets replicated at a general election, this officially means there is no safe seat. That there is no safe seats for Tories at the next general election. It ain't going to be good for them. Oh, Cavalan, good morning to you. Like button smashed, indeed. Do remember to click on the like button. Oop, so Daisy, there we go. Like I say, hit the like, hit the share button as well while you're here, because I think that's the good thing that we can see, that was the swing that was needed, and ultimately that is the story that we have seen throughout the night, that there has been swings to join through all of this. So hey, it's going to be easy. Can you join? I don't know. I can't join people on my on here. Nice to see B. Bradley soundly beaten by Claire Ward from Jack. Yeah, I wonder how GB News managed the news of the Tory losing the local election. I don't know, maybe we'll look into that. Maybe we'll look at what they've got to say. I have a strange feeling they're going to be incredibly pro-reform, even though, let's say it now, Reform got, what, one councillor? Hardly the ringing results that they were predicting or claiming that they would get off the back of this. I'm not using StreamYard. I'm not using StreamYard. I'm doing it live off my phone. So this is how we are able to do the good morning walk. I'm going to rely on my phone. Past news, good morning to you. Gary Arnold, 80 seat Tory majority would usually be very hard to overturn. Yeah, any big majority like this that we've got at the current morning, well, the current sort of parliament, yeah, normally would be very, very hard to overturn. This is why a lot of people have been talking about all this time is the swing. It's the swing that matters. And we've had a big swing. It is a big swing on this. So we'll have to see. Reagan Lee, morning all. What's your results on the thought of the results so far? Mark Matthews, good morning from Chicago. Good morning to you, Mark. But this is the news, and this is what you want to look at. Is you've got to look at the swing and the fact that Labour did that. They achieved that last night in a whole load of these different races. Even though Ben Houchen won, which again, you know, sad news. I agree. But don't think that the stories and the stuff about Ben Houchen and the stuff at Teesside is going to stop, because that entire race became about constantly bringing up Teesside. What's going on at the Tees Valley port? What's the situation there? That's not going to stop. More journalists are now digging in to what's going on at that site. So they expect a lot of, shall we say, very, very bad news, not only for Ben Houchen, but also going forward for the Conservatives as well in that area. Even if Ben Houchen did win, which he has done now, yeah, it's not going to be a good ride for him. Oh, it's going to be bad news for Houchen on the Teesside at that. And of course, if Labour, well, I say if, I think it's now a matter of when, when Labour do get in power, they've all said, or at least Rachel Reeves has said, shall we say, we're going to be sort of sending in the National Audit Office. And that, oh boy, that will make some feathers fly on that. Patrick H. Houchen won because he is popular locally. Can't imagine why. Yeah, let's actually talk about that for a moment, because that's the one thing that a lot of people have been sort of quite shocked about. But Houchen, right from the get-go, regularly, Lib Dems have more than Tories, if I'm right. That will be amazing if true. That will be very amazing if true. So why is Houchen so popular in that area? Well, one of the big things that Houchen has done to sort of endear his popularity is the Teesside free port, because a lot of people have really wrongly associated that Houchen is, he's bringing in all this investment, he's doing all these, bringing all this money into the area. The reality is that once again, Houchen has really tried to lean in to be that poster boy of levelling up. And he's, over the past couple of years, I think, really realised just how toxic being a Tory really was. So he has, for the past couple of years, ignored his Tory branding and tried desperately to keep, shall we say, not only Rishi Sunak at arm's distance, but the rest of the Tory party at arm's distance as well. Ooh. So there is, quite honestly, a lot of stuff going on in that campaign, and it has all been about people's perception what's going on at Teesside. And the annoying thing, unfortunately, has been that the news about Teesside and the corruption about there hasn't really set in yet, because it's very difficult to sort of explain very simply. You've got to go into how this corruption works and sort of all like the dodgy deals. It's not something you can explain really easily and sort of very simply to a lot of people. It's all very, very complicated, like contract law and like how this all happened. So it's not that easy to explain to a large general audience. But that does seem to be changing, because more and more not only local journalists, regional and national journalists have started to, shall we say, sense blood in the water at that free port. And they have really started investigating, really started poring over that whole report that we got about the Tees Valley port and looking what's going on in there. So the more that gets looked into, the more it's going to happen. Mark R, yeah. Selling land to your mates for £1 per acre, if it can be shown, quite easy to understand. Yes and no, because there's a whole part of who actually sort of initially bought the land, why it was devalued at that sort of level. And yes, that is one of the things that has, but unfortunately it's not something that's sunk into a lot of people, that they've done that and that they got away with, you know, selling that land off for that amount of money. Unfortunately, it just hasn't sunk in, which is the real shame, but it needs to be really sort of, I think, sort of simplified more and get it sort of explained onto that. Because it's, the Freeport and what's going on at Teesside is going to be a really, really big sort of complex scandal about contracts, rules, laws. Oh, I don't know if you can see him. Heron flying by. There he goes. It's all going to be sort of very, very difficult. And it's, how do you take that information and turn it into something that the mass general public can understand? Any sort of big scandal like this tends to start off like this, and then something happens that sort of triggers it and gets it more moving in the public consciousness. So that's at the moment what we're waiting for. That triggering moment where people really realize that this ain't going to work very well. Pikachu, hello from Clingford. Good morning to you, and good morning to everyone else joining us, by the way, as well. If I've missed you and I haven't said hello, good morning to you. Remember to click the like and share button on in. Blue Badger, good morning to you. And of course, it is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you to all those who observe. But regardless of whatever happens, Houchen's screwed. Because the second we get a Labour government, they send in the National Audit Office, they find out and start uncovering what's going on here. And that's when it becomes Scandal City, I think. That's where it becomes really Scandal City. Because I can guarantee you a lot of the documents that would really show what are going on are being held under lock and key. And until that happens, we ain't going to see them. Oh my word, hey Thompson, good morning to you. Good morning to not only Aid, but everyone else, like I said, joining us. Oh, by the way, we are about to hit the Barnsley Triangle. So if we do disconnect, do not worry. We will reconnect momentarily. But we are entering a bit of an infamous spot for blackouts. So if I do disconnect, don't worry, keep on and we will be back shortly. If we do disconnect, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We'll find out. Like I say, 'tis the Barnsley Triangle for a reason. But yes, local election results, I think, have been so good and a really sort of positive indicator. In fact, you've seen a lot of the Tories, in fact Steve Baker, you know, the Brexit boy himself. Oh, good morning Jess, happy Star Wars Day. You know, the big Brexit boy himself, he was on the news earlier today and say, well, you know, it's all about really sort of, you know, getting on with Brexit. I feel like, what do you mean getting on with Brexit? They've got on with Brexit so much. And yet, It keeps on failing them time and time and time again on that one. Jamie Lockwood, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone else. Andrew Palmer, no talk of the other monster in our political the tie, the Right Honourable George Galloway. Oh, I don't think Galloway was party won any seats. I haven't actually looked, so please don't tell me they won some seats. But oh my word, that's going to be, that's going to be a wake-up call for a lot of people when they start seeing them act on the local council. But there you go. Hey Thompson, good morning to you again. I'll never know if Steve Baker is an MP for High Wycombe or some other town in the Midlands called Wycombe or Wack. See, you've got me at it now. Wycombe, Wycombe, Wokum. It's like a whiffle wat, as Boris Johnson used to say. I'll get out my whiffle wapple. Monster Raving Looney Party have retained the Barnsley Triangle seat. Excellent, always good to know. Pikachu, I hope Khan... Oh, hang on, there we go. Oh, hang on. There we go. I hope Khan wins is much closer than expected. However, one of the Tory candidates, being a One Nation Tory, had charisma rather than Susan Hall. The Tories would have won. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying from some of it that that could be close, that Labour might not be in overall control of the Assembly, but it does look like that might be close. But the mayoral race, I think Khan's got this in the bag, because honestly, it's Susan Hall, and honestly, she has gone from car crash to train crash to plane crash. It's just not been a very good candidate to run, honestly. But hey, if they're going to choose that type of candidate, I'm not complaining. Craig Galloway recently earned the wrath of Navarra by reminding them of his anti-LGBTQ positions. Here's the thing, everyone. That wasn't new. That wasn't new. Galloway has had those positions for the longest time. So when Navarra were like, or when Aaron, I can't remember his second name, is Aaron Bastoni or Bastoni? Just call him Aaron. But when he said that, like, oh well, I would have voted for George Galloway, but now those comments of his, oh, I can't bring myself to vote for him now. And you're like, hold on a second. Oh, by the way, it's a stream on a stream. When he brings up those sort of comments, that's been Galloway's position for so long. Have you not listened to him? That's been his position all this time. Why are you so shocked at that? Not only that, as I said in my video about it yesterday as well, the man's comments about a ton of other things should automatically disqualify you from voting for him. But no, I honestly believe that they are just so blinkered that because, he's saying the right thing about, like Gaza, just like he was, quote, right about Iraq. Although, again, there's a lot of stuff about Iraq that, he said as well. Particularly kind of funny, where in the article they quote his 2004 book. And also in that 2004 book, Galloway seems to endorse the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, where Saddam Hussein went and committed a load of war crimes against the Kuwaiti people. I don't know, really sounds like a candidate you should vote for. And that's not even taking his LGBTQ stance into account as well. Anyway, let's catch up. Gary Allen, in 97, I didn't believe that the win was going to happen until the last minute. I think that's going to be the same as well. I think the Tories, and even Rishi Sunak came out recently in an article saying that it's going to be, quote, the biggest political comeback in history. I don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. Andrew Palmer, no to just people to wake up. Patrick H. Hall is a very unpleasant individual. Absolutely. Susan Hall is the monster raving loony in London. Oh, absolutely. Reagan Lee, if Khan holds, I think it will be his last run. I think it will be his last run as well. I really do. I can very easily see him, this being his last run, and then after this, he moves up into national politics. But the big problem for Khan is, if he ever does become leader, he's got a big problem with trying to sort of attract northern voters, I think, because he was so London-centric for so long. So watch Khan, if he ever becomes an MP, really start. In fact, I would be very interested to see Sadiq Khan run for a seat up in the north somewhere. That would be interesting, because I'll tell you what, if he ever wants to be leader or again future prime minister, he's really got to prove his northern credentials. So him running in a northern seat, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. It's really not. David, Craig, did you watch Nigel's video talking in a very homophobic way about drag queens and transsexuals giving speeches in schools? That doesn't surprise me at all. Cathode G, sorry David, it's much appreciated. Tory MP Andrew Griffith, talking about Houchen's literature, suggesting we shouldn't insult the intelligence of the electorate. I'll have to look into that later. Craig, yeah, it's been like that forever. Just look at who opposes Galloway and think he's just one of them. Yep. Ben Riding's the wrath of Navarra media. Galloway must be quaking. Oh, so I don't know how many people know about this. Galloway is set to go on a show on Sunday called Not the Andrew Marr Show. I've got to talk about that at some point as well, because yeah, we've got to do something about that at some point, but maybe another time. But he's going on there, and from what I have seen, he is saying that this whole Navarra media interview was a complete stitch-up, and that they are paid agitators. So yeah, that's going to be fun, seeing how he tries to get out of that. Bakura, when do you think the next general election will be? Oh, honestly, I don't know at this point. I really don't know. I think it could be in autumn now. Unless something big happens, unless the Tories really set in and just start to go, we've lost, and well, we might as well just end it sooner rather than later. Because as I've said before, what have they got to do that's, later? Because you see all this nothing. Well, I say nothing, but it's quite a nice place. But you see all this nothingness here. That's what they're going forward to. Absolutely nothing to present to the people. So I don't know how there's going to be this big political turnaround, but there you go. Mark Hart, oh no, Mark, oh no. Galloway's Workers' Party won 4 seats. Oh no. Oh, that's depressing, but there you go. Jamie, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone else as well joining us. Like I say, please do remember to click the like and share button. Oh yes, and if you want to join the Pony Club as well, you see the people with the funky sort of stickers next to their names. Links down below to join the pony club. Craig, I mean, Sunak is just right there. Biggest Labour defeat in a century to a crushing majority. It's a hell of a comeback. It is absolutely a hell of a comeback. Owen Knight, did Khan lose the mayoralty? We won't know probably, I think, till this afternoon, I think. But honestly, I don't think he's lost it. I really don't think he's lost it. Patrick H, I can see Khan running for Brighton Pavilion one day. Cathode G, the character today. 69. 69 viewers. Thank you, Michael. Pikachu says to Owen, he's very likely to now just to hold on. He's quite lucky the Tory candidate isn't a One Nationalist or had the charisma like Boris Johnson. Yeah, I can say, Susan Hall went from car crash to train crash to plane crash in interviews, just time and time and time again. Does anyone aside from bored, middle class and housewives pay attention to Navarra and Owen? Unfortunately, a lot of people, but, you know, there you go. Dong at the last minute. Michael, I'm thinking Christmas. I mean, who knows? They may decide to hold one in January. For all we know at this point. Like I say, the only person who gets to decide whether it's going to be a general election is Rishi Sunak. And remember, just recently, he's already deployed his threat. He's already deployed his threat to call a general election. And you only get to do that once. You only get to do it once. And if, you know, things get worse, like the Tory rebels have said, Graham posted this in the Labour social chat, that the Tory rebels have now said that they are quitting this rebellion and just going to the pub. And I'm like, why? What excuse? What reason does any of these rebels have an excuse to quit? Because if you want to stand a chance in any future right now, your street cred is going to be built off opposing Rishi Sunak. You know? So Sunak has a lot of troubles coming ahead of him. A lot of troubles coming ahead for him. Make no mistake, these rebellions are not over. If anything, I think personally they might become even worse for Rishi Sunak. I think they might become even worse. Easy Run, my thoughts on the Navarra Galloway is just let them fight. Oh, absolutely, just let them fight. Gary, only a few more months, you can't delay forever. Exactly, you can't. And honestly, who knows what gaffes may come up. And Rishi Sunak is trying to sort of bed in the fact that, oh, things might get better. But here's the thing, Rishi, history has shown very recently things can only get worse for you. Things can only get worse for you. And oh boy, have they gotten worse. Mike Fletcher, good morning to you. 1,000, hang on, there we go. 1,600 migrant crossings last week. That's relatively with poor weather. Is the Rwanda plan working? Think not. Yeah, it was never going to work. It was never going to work, considering the fact they can only take 200. Sorry, 199. After one person has now voluntarily decided to go to Rwanda. So, you know, not a lot of space is left. Patrick H, next election looks like it's going to be in January 2025 because Rishi is just desperate. I think he is as well. Rachel Harris, Tory's going to switch to the scorched earth policy now. Sunak trying to hide in his bunker. Doesn't surprise me. Billy Kershaw, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone else joining us as well. Jess Hunt, did they magically make him say anything awful to answer these questions? Eerily, the power of Aaron Bastani strikes again. I know. And yet what shocks me in that piece that he wrote was he said, oh, but Galloway's been so consistent with his foreign policy and you know, his policy for like public ownership. Yeah, and he's been incredibly consistent about his, you know, anti-LGBTQ stance as well, Aaron. Just honestly, at least finally, maybe, you know, they've realised that, you know, George Galloway is not someone you should be really voting for. Galloway's gaggle equals the Kremlin Workers' Party. Oh, yeah. Would not surprise me, actually, if they start trying to cause trouble on councils, trying to pass like resolutions about like we shouldn't support Ukraine. Expect that to probably come up in the future as well. Killian, good morning to you. The general election will be in January of 2025. Sunak will just be keeping waiting for things to try and improve until there is no choice left. Do you play Warhammer 40k Tacticus? Nope. I play normal 40k, I play AOS, bit of Necromunda, bit of Blood Bowl. But I'm off to go play the Fallout board game this afternoon, so that's going to be quite fun. Pikachu, I don't think we'll have any trouble with Galloway's party in my constituency. They are standing, but however, my Labour candidate is supporting a ceasefire on social media. Here's the thing, we've already passed a motion for a ceasefire. And yet now a lot of people are saying, oh, well, only now if we pass a motion at our local councils, now will, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu be quaking in his boots if the Rutherford City Council passes a motion of ceasefire. Hey, bear in mind, I understand why people are so passionate, but it honestly just seems to me like the anger and the direction of this sort of whole thing at the moment is really doesn't really have an answer, if I'm honest. And I think you're going to see a lot of people feel really disillusioned about the end of this and when it all comes to an end. But, you know, as I've said many times before, the only people that can really solve this problem, unfortunately, is America. Like it or not, that's just how things go. And I know it's very distressing to see all these things. I know there's talks recently about the whole mass grave stuff that happened out there, that they found one. So that's something new that needs to be investigated and should be investigated by, you know, an international body. Whether Israel will allow that to happen or not, I don't know. But they're not making any friends at the moment. They are not making any friends. And I think Spain, is it Spain, recently announced they were going to put sanctions on Israel, I think it was. So, you know, maybe that's the direction we have to go in as well, to really get some action. And I don't see the protest movement about this focusing on that. Instead, they're still obsessed with this idea that if we somehow pass a ceasefire motion at a local council, somehow this will bring the entire conflict to a conclusion. But there you go. Blue Badger, I'd find it almost funny if Modi actually secretly hates Sunak's father-in-law, and again he's striking along to eventually crash the info stock. That would be kind of funny if that was true. Amber S, I can't even imagine living in Susan Hall's London. What would it be like? Oh my word. Hopefully we won't find that out. Des Hunt, poor count bin face. He gets his act. Oh, I thought we were going to be visited by a pony then. Gets his act as a comedy evil overlord completely sorted, and then along comes Susan Hall and does the very same thing. Well, hey, what is it? Flattery is the, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Another dreadful campaign by the Tories in London. It doesn't surprise me. Craig, Tory levels, going to the pubs. When the going gets tough, we head to the pub. It's very true. All right, things might get better and might need a pill to help me go to the loo, but that's not likely to happen either. Jane Lockwood, Rishi cares only for the course of his party, only in the deals. Aren't they selling off the accommodation in Rwanda? Yes, they are selling off the accommodation in Rwanda. Rishi Sunak hiding in his Tory bunker? Absolutely. Cathode G with the decorations expected. Liverpool City, midday. South Yorkshire about 2 p.m. West Midlands 3 p.m. That'll be, of course, Andy Street, so we'll find out what happens to him then. West Yorkshire 3:15, Greater Manchester 4 p.m, Salford 5, others to be seen. Yeah, I also expect Andy Burnham to win an absolute stonking victory. And there's someone else who I think will eventually go from being a local mayor into the national politics. And I think will do very, very, very well for himself when he does that. Ben Ridings, I do not get Novara, nor just comes across like them, even though I prefer no justice. Yeah, unfortunately that's just the side of the left we've got to deal with. Oh, we've got some ponies. Good morning to you guys. All right, good morning to you. Got a specific question, because I'm not clear on this. Does Labour agree with the moderate right that migration is a legitimate issue? How does it differ? So here's the thing. Immigration, when you're talking about a legitimate issue, is how much of it do we agree? Most of the immigration that happens in the UK is overwhelmingly legal immigration. Like illegal immigration is actually very, very small. Even when these people come over on the small boats, a lot of these people have a legal right to be here and can, make that happen. The biggest problem that we always see, and that we've been talking about for the longest time on this topic, is that the Tories completely broke the immigration system. You need to properly fund it. You need to hire the people, to actually do it. You need to hire all these other things to, make sure that, people get, settled in, etc., etc., and, plan to do it. And the thing is, if you did it and you got it done, then there wouldn't be this massive backlog. You wouldn't see such an overwhelming public backlash. But because people like Nigel Farage have made it such an issue, and Tommy Robinson, etc., people just think it's an absolutely, oh my God, what an absolutely, crazy issue. But in reality, it's really not. Migration is an overwhelmingly good and positive effect on this country. It helps bring in sort of new ideas, new people to the tax base as well, or especially of like working age, which again we need for a ton of industries. So they say migration vastly different, and Labour's just going to actually get on and do the job. Shockingly enough, which the Conservatives haven't been doing, if you want the main difference. Band of Harshes, good morning to you. It's a bit like Life of Brian. Like living in the mind of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Nope. Being visited by a little puppy. Yeah, if they actually got to power, they wouldn't actually know what to do with it. That's, well, yeah. That is something that is a bit of a problem for them. Got a fly doing bacon butties at our chapel. Well, good luck on that, Jane. Good luck. Oh God, you know what? I love that. I love the smell of a bacon buddy. Well, I know what I'm having for breakfast. I know what I'm having for breakfast now. Oh, do I have any bacon? Oh, that's a good question. Damn, I didn't bring my wallet either. Damn. If we reform the media, people were more positive about immigration. Yep, very, very true. Immigration traditionally throughout history has been the biggest scapegoat of all governments. Larry the cat. Pork markets. Exactly. Pork markets. I need to go to the pork market. Blue Badger, that's the point I'm trying to make. The Tories got all the power and realised that they couldn't actually pretend to be held back by so much, and just muffed up the whole country. They only had to say the dog ate it before. LOL. Yeah, and we said this at the time. You know, because Boris won such a large majority, there's no one to blame but them. There's no one to blame but them. And really, this is, for any political party, the best time for a general election, because all you do is you just say, well, look at the past 14 years. That's what this party has constantly done. I think, really, honestly, COVID, Boris, Liz, and even Rishi are just completely now, constantly mucking it all up. And, you know, I think I've said this before as well. Shockingly, David Cameron, yeah, I don't like David Cameron, but I'll tell you this, as Foreign Secretary, he's doing, again, a good job in quotation marks, because I know that's very, very subjective to a lot of people, but he's making the rest of the cabinet look like absolute buffoons, because he's getting on and he's actually doing his job as Foreign Secretary, and he's making the rest of the cabinet look like complete and utter absolute incompetence. So, you know, I don't like David Cameron, but I'll tell you what a way to embarrass his own party by, you know, getting on and doing a job. Craig, you see, if they run a puppy instead of Susan Hall, the puppy would have whittled on the carpets and had very much performed better at interviews. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Larry the cat, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone else as well joining us. Like I say, please do remember to click on that like and share button as well. Down below, again, links to help support the channel, Patreon page, buy me a coffee link, YouTube thank you button, Pony Club, etc. All down below. You know the drill by now. With lovely bread cakes from Barnsley Market. See, you've convinced me now. I've got to have a bacon sandwich. I've got to go to the pork markets. Get me a bacon sandwich. Owen Knight. He's doing a good job on that lovely plane, making Rishi look positively frugal. Exactly. I mean, yeah, the flights, I agree with you on the flights, but hey, he's actually doing a job far better, and he's just completely showing up the rest of the cabinet and on so many things. Like I say, you know, when someone does something right, you should praise them for it. Praise them for actually, you know, doing something good. When someone does something bad, criticize them. Absolutely. I've said this about anything for the Tories. If the Tories were to actually do something good, like support Ukraine, I've said, hey, Rishi Sunak giving that recent aid bill to the Ukrainians. Hey, got to say, good job on that, Rishi. Good job on that for continuing your support on that. So, what is it? A broken clock can be right twice a day. But at the same time, you've also got to think about, if you are going to sort of work with other people, where's your middle ground? Where can you sort of work together on a ton of different things? You see this happen at local councils all the time. These local councils that are in overall no control, well, you have to work with your local Lib Dem councillor. You have to work with your local Tory councillor. So, coalition politics, even though we've only ever really had, two recent in our voting time, I can guarantee at your local council, coalition politics is very, very, very much the order of the day on your local council. HTB, Byline TV is streaming today at 4. Hope they bring back their Friday night stream. Basil Roth, good morning to you. It's hard not to make the rest of the cabinet look incompetent. Oh yeah, it's very hard, very hard. The pig did stop working so hard. That's not what we do here at the Tory Party. Other Friday night streams are also available. That's very true. Other Friday night streams are also available. Cameron knows it's the very last ministerial post he'll ever have. Oh, absolutely. Cheese and ham sandwich from Tesco, that's me. Me and Phil, we've missed a segment there. Well, to be honest, you just have too much choice. I mean, Patrick H, the powers that be have always used immigration as a scapegoat. Exactly. You can see this historically every single time. Unfortunately, it works. It works far too well. Far too well. I mean, you saw Nigel Farage. Pre-Nigel Farage, immigration really was not that high up on people's agenda. And then, of course, along comes Farage, starts campaigning about immigration, becomes a big issue, or at least in people's minds. After 2016 and sort of Farage went away, immigration has actually lessened in people's minds as an issue. Kind of interesting. Very interesting on that. Helen, Tories very fond of wasting our money, telling us we don't know how to budget. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what... Bear in mind, we're going to go into, conference season soon. And what's Sunak's net message going to be? What's Sunak's message is going to be? What is he going to cancel? He's already cancelled HS2. What's he going to do this time as an encore? What's he going to cancel this time? Cameron certainly shows us how to screw the country and the people. He's really good at that. Pikachu, Labour on 249 seats, according to what Sky News, excluded both Scotland and Wales because, unlike the Tories, Labour had to rely on winning seats outside of England if they were to win a majority. It's very true. Larry the Cat, straight from the Fash playbook, immigration, and just blame the other. Exactly. So notice that people haven't really not noticed yet. Yvette Cooper making regular visits to Brussels. Obviously, they have a plan for Europe, and Europe are on board with it. I know, it's just like working with the EU. What a shocking idea. what a shocking idea. Tory budget. First, get someone else's credit card. Or in that case, make sure you've got enough credit. And, you know, then give the money to your mate. That would be the true traditional track. Nope. But yeah, we're going to see probably some more Tory cope, I think, this weekend. So expect a lot of that this weekend. I'm probably going to have a search for some myself. I mean, obviously we've got Steve Baker. Recently, I'm going to have to look at his full comments, what he said about that. But yeah, oh boy. And the fun ones are going to be the Tory councillors that lost their seats, because I can guarantee you someone is going to be furiously typing out about how it was Rishi Sunak's fault that they lost their local council seat. And oh boy, that'll be fun. Jason, anyone doing anything Star Warsy today? Ironically, on May the 4th, I'm going to go play the Fallout board game, but, you know. And oh no. You know how I did the video? You know how I did the video on 40k recently? Someone has taken me up on that offer. Plus, it's going to be painful, but there you go. Why do I do these things to myself sometimes? Just why do I do these things? Why do I enjoy speaking to people? Curse my Yorkshireness. Oh, anyway. David, now that Labour won, do you think rejoin EU process will start soon? This to create sort of a social war between Brexiteers and Remainers. I don't think we'll see anything for a while, but I think what we'll see on this process is Labour actually engaging with the EU, rebuilding sort of relations, trying to sort of do bilateral sort of trade deals and things like that. It's always what I've said. I think, you know, they will go and they will negotiate to the EU and they will see what we get. And then after, they will come back and just go, this is Brexit. Are you sure you really want this, guys? Because this is as good as it is ever going to get. And I still think that is the overall plan of what will happen on that. Larry the Cat. I see that Holden was out doing the rounds today, waving around the dog-eared notebook from the Treasury. Must have been told to stop looking like a tool. Exactly. Join us at bath time at the Pony Club. Just open the Royal Trader rulebook. If it's not in there, it's a retcon. Exactly. Exactly. Gary Arnold. If the Lib Dems become the official opposition, it would help us with. It should help us with the joint process. It absolutely should. It will help us not only that, but a ton of other different things as well. If that happens, of course, but that is in the extreme, and we're talking if. How many seats can the Lib Dems win in the upcoming general election? They've got quite a good chance of winning a lot of seats by the looks of it, especially going off local election results. But how many seats can they win? And then it's how many seats do the Tories lose? And that's what general election night is going to be all about. We know the Tories are going to lose. It's just a matter of by how much do they lose. And it could be, it could get pretty wacky, but I've said, in my best estimate, I think it's going to be anywhere between 120 and 80. I think that, when you look at the polls, when you look at the constant stuff that's coming out, that's where my best guesstimate is going to be. I think it's going to be somewhere around there. If it's even, you know, if they lose even more than that, absolutely fantastic. But I want to set, I think, a good sort of expectation, especially when there are polls out there that show the Tories winning only 4 seats. I mean, I really don't believe that, to be honest, but hey, who knows? Craig, the Tory graph, is saying that the PM is defiant as the local election results see the Tories fare far better than expected. Wow. If this is doing far better than expected, what does winning and losing look like in this case? But no, you are going to see, I think, Rishi Sunak and any of these Tories currently go out and try and do as much damage control as possible today on that front. I'm voting tactically for the Lib Dems. Exactly. Please go out and do that. Oh. Now the cat copium is in full overdrive in Toryville. Oh, it is. It is. Trust me. Be careful, or else you might overdose. Because honestly, it's gonna be a heavy one. It's gonna be a heavy one. It looks like the SNP are going to have an easy change of leadership with the Tories. Probably. I think there's probably been a deal done behind closed doors to sort of, shall we say, assure his ascension in that one. Anyway. Anyway, here we are, back at the top. Thank you for everyone, one and all, for joining me on today's Good Morning Walk. It's been absolutely fantastic. Please do remember to click on the like, share and subscribe button on your way out. Craig, I'm getting flashbacks of the Naked Gun scene with Leslie Nielsen saying, stay outside of the destroyed police station, saying nothing to see here. Oh, exactly. Nothing to see here. Absolutely nothing to see. Absolutely yes. Yeah, it is going to be, that is what you're going to see probably all this weekend, probably going into next week as well, some form of damage control. But in the meantime, the copium that is going to flow forth, and the accusations, especially from a lot of local Tories, because I can guarantee you they are not happy one bit. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us today on today's Good Morning Walk. Go out, have fun, enjoy your weekend as always. Be, if you can't be safe, be sensible. May the 4th be with you. Exactly. Oh, that does remind me, there's the new Dave Filoni project out today as well. So do go watch that. But as always, thank you everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Click the like, click the share button on your way out. Leave a comment down below as well, helping with all the algorithmical stuff. Also, links down below in the doobly-doo if you want to help support the channel. And as always, we'll see you all next time, and of course next weekend for another Good Morning Walk. So until then, we'll see you all very soon.